All right, Busters. So today we are going to ice dye a pair of pants. That's kind of unusual. It's not my usual kind of project. Stick around and I'll tell you the story. Well, hi YouTube, and welcome back to all my Buster buddies. Hey, it's your big kahuna here, Brad, and this is Brad's Boredom Busters, your tie-dye art channel. All right, for you long-time viewers of my channel, you're aware that in the spring, I am usually getting ready for the UFO festival. So last year, I made up a bunch of shirts like these, and at one time, I had a bunch to wash out, but I also washed them out with some other clothes. Well, that was a little bit of a mistake. So I washed them out with these pair of pants, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see it because I've already got these pants soaked in soda ash solution, but you can see got a bunch of dye. I mean, that's just a little sample of it, but I got a lot of dye bleeding off onto these pants. So instead of throwing them away, I thought, well, let's see if we can't kind of do something with them, camouflage them. And so I'm going to do some ice dyeing with them. And seeing I've got those new Dharma ice dyes, I thought I'd do them out of Alchemist because that's kind of finishes off kind of green, and these are kind of khaki in color. So I figured that would look pretty good. So like I say, they're old pants, so they've been washed many times, but I did recently soak them in soda ash solution for 20 minutes and then put them in the laundry and spun out as much moisture as I can. And so they're slightly damp. And so we'll put those there. Anyway, so we will get over here to the work table. I've got kind of an interesting way of wrapping these up and getting them ready for the ice dye. So if I can get squirt out of the way, we'll get to the work table and get on to these. All right, let's see you over at the table. All right, Busters, so here we are at the work table. Like I said, these pants have been soaked in soda ash solution and spun out, so they're just slightly damp. I've kind of thought about and actually tested it previously, just trying different ways of folding or rolling this up, or because it's denim, it's kind of heavy, so I want to make sure I get penetration everywhere. So what I thought about originally, I thought about kind of overlapping the legs or folding them over on top of each other, but I was afraid that would get too thick. So I think what I want to do is just kind of scrunch up the legs here like that, and then just kind of start rolling it up. That way the fabric isn't really overlapping itself too much, but it's that way I think I can get good saturation all the way through. And we'll just kind of do like that, and then I can get an ice dam around this. So that's basically what I'm going to do for that. So let me go get my curing tub in the rack and then an ice dam, and we'll set that up here, and then we can start applying the ice and the dye. So I'll be right back. Okay, Busters, so I've got pants on the rack, got my ice dam around it, so I am going to actually fill this up pretty good. I'm going to mound up the ice, really well, because I want to get a lot of saturation here and cover, all of it, so the dye, once I put it over the ice, it has good coverage. So let's get the ice on now. that's pretty good. I've got a little ice left over, and I may actually cover the dye up with that after I get that on. So the next is to install. The next is to apply our Alchemist. So we want to spread this around, not too heavy, but cover the ice, completely, but just not real thick. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Nice coverage there. All right, so the next thing to apply is our dry soda ash. And like I said, I think I'll finish applying ice on here just to make sure there's enough moisture going down. I'll just kind of mound it up here on top. All right. So that is everything for that. So now I'll let that sit and melt out. I'll check the saturation around, on the kind of the bottom side of it once all the ice is melted, and see if we have good saturation. And depending on how much still undissolved dye might be sitting on the pants, I may just apply more ice just to help that undissolved dye dissolve a little bit more. But after I'm satisfied with the saturation, after all the ice is melted out, I'll let it sit for 24 hours. I'll put the lid on the container to keep the moisture in. And once it's sat for at least 24 hours, then I'll take it out to the laundry sink and we'll rinse out the pants, starting with a cold water rinse to flush out the soda ash. And then I'll turn it up to a hot water rinse to flush out any dye that hasn't bonded with the fabric yet. Once the hot water rinse is running pretty clear, then I'll take it and put it in the laundry, and we'll wash it out with detergent and Synthropol, which is a professional textile detergent. And you can pick up all these tools and chemicals and materials that you see me use in my videos. They're all with my affiliate links down in the description below. So help yourself if you need anything. That helps out my channel. And so once it's all washed out and dried, we'll bring it back here for the reveal. So let's see if this doesn't come out pretty cool looking. Certainly it'll help eliminate all the old dye splotchiness. This ought to make it look pretty cool. Let's see what we get with the ice dye project on the pants. I'll see you at the reveal. Thanks for watching. Okay, Buster Buddies, so here is the finished product. The Alchemist just split really cool. It did its thing. It's normally the purples and the greens, and it's always amazing how you get such purples but such nice greens out of the same dye. But yeah, this came out really cool. Let me show you the back. And maybe just because the pants were laying more on this side, not as much purple on the back side as on the front. But yeah, these came out really cool. I actually can't wait to wear them. My wife says, oh no, you're not going to wear those out in public. Yeah, I am. I think they're pretty great. I'm very excited about them. But yeah, I don't have anything else really to say. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. Yeah, I didn't have any problems with applying the dye and the ice. It was literally that same application of ice was all I needed for the whole pair of pants. So yeah, it came out great. Hey, I like it. If you like it too, give me a thumbs up on this project. And if you really like this and think it's cool, share it around to your friends. That helps out my channel, and let them see what we're doing over here at Bradds Boredom Busters. And this proves if you have a pair of pants that you actually, maybe got a little bit of dye on, or like I said, you washed it with some other shirts and it bled on some dye, this is a good way to camouflage the bleeding of the dye onto the fabric. Now it all looks like it was supposed to look, and you can't tell that there was any bled dye onto the fabric. So yeah, this is a great way to save a pair of pants. Gives you something really cool to wear around. And, hey, you've made it to the end of this video. You must be enjoying what you saw. So, hey, why don't you go ahead and subscribe now? Yeah, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming projects. And if you want to help out my channel, don't forget about my Buy Me a Coffee page. I also have the super thanks, and then my affiliate links are down in the description. If you need any tools, materials, or chemicals, then I've got them there. Yep, I really appreciate you all watching. Thanks for sticking out to the end. This came out really cool. Love all my subscribers. Peace out, baby, and go have fun tie-dyeing. And hi, Squirt. Are you going to help me do my pants today? Anyway, go, 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 go.